Good morning, beautiful people of the Instagram. This is your friend Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. I'm here with a little message for you guys. Okay, just a little message. Here's a message, guys. What are you telling yourselves? What are you telling yourselves? Okay. What is your subconscious saying about you, your artwork, the things that you are doing? What is your subconscious? What's running underneath? What's running? What's the running commentary? Now, I don't know for other people, but I know that for me, my running commentary in the past has been very negative, right? It's very, very negative. Like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard. Oh man, that's almost impossible, or there's a lot of work to do there, and blah, 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 or that's not going to work, or I don't have enough time, or, that running commentary. I've been learning about affirmations. Now, let me tell you, this is not the first time I learn about affirmations, okay? Positive affirmations. High vibration affirmations and stuff like that. This is not the first time that I learned about that. I started learning about this from some workshop that I did with Dr. Joe Vitale. This is about, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. Maybe more. This is when I started learning about it. Okay. Now, when I learned about it, I thought that it was just one of those things that you did and then you didn't have to do again, like everything else, right? I thought, I'll have a beach body if I exercise 1 month, and then the rest of the year I'm going to be fine, right? Like that's going to work, right? So with the positive affirmations, I learned the same way. Okay, if I just do positive affirmations for a little while, everything's going to be fine. And you know what? It isn't. It isn't. It isn't fine. It isn't fine to do something for a little while and then hope that everything's fine after that. It's like saying I'm going to shower today and then I'm going to be clean for the rest of my life. That's bullshit, right? You need to do it every day. It's the same thing with positive affirmations, guys. So now, what I've been learning about positive affirmations, not only do I understand, of course, now that, hey, it's a daily thing. It's not a thing that you wish you can do every day, or you hope, or if you find time. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes. If you're doing an hour, great. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes. But what I found out, and I'm going to share this with you guys, is to go to bed with positive affirmations. Okay? Go to bed and wake up with positive affirmations. Now, waking up, it might be a little bit harder because we wake up and we're running around and we're getting, but you have to have that little time. I don't know if it's 1 minute, whatever it is, that little bit of time where you're driving or you're going to work, or maybe you're getting breakfast, you're grabbing your coffee or whatever, and it's on your phone, man. Like, it's on everyone's phone. All you have to do is YouTube positive affirmations, and someone is already speaking the positive affirmations. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I'm enough, and on and on. Now, what most people think this is mumbo jumbo, this doesn't really work, and it's not good, I would strongly disagree. I used to think that it didn't work myself. I used to think that, and this is after doing a workshop on some of the programs with Dr. Joe Vitale, the guy who came out in The Secret, that movie, that the infamous movie, The Secret. And this is me after studying some Esther Hicks, and Edgar Tolle, that kind of stuff, right? Where you realize that it's the chatter in your mind that really is just fucking with you. The thing is that realizing something like that and not putting a practice behind it it can become very difficult to fully understand. You realize something, but you don't put the practice behind it. It's like saying, yeah, you know, like if you go to work and you're like, oh man, if I really apply myself, I could definitely double my paycheck, right? Like you realize that. You know, if I just woke up earlier and apply myself and do the things, like go beyond what I'm asked to do around here, I definitely can double my paycheck. Yeah, dude, you realize that, but you're not doing it, so it doesn't really matter whether you realize it or not. You know, you probably don't even realize it. You're just thinking, you know, you're just thinking that you know something. It's in the same way. It functions the same way. Positive affirmations, for those of you, it's like everybody knows about positive affirmations, just like everybody knows about diets. People are like, oh yeah, I know about positive affirmations. All I really have to do is, and then they start talking all kinds of nonsense, right? And what I want to share with you here, guys, is, look, positive affirmations only work if you do them every day. Only work if you do them every day. They're an exercise. Make sure you put them somewhere in your day. Preferably twice a day. Put them in your day somewhere. I found out that if I go to sleep to it, man, I wake up like see, because this is what I've been learning about positive affirmations lately. Between ages, when you were born until age 7, right, you are pretty much done. Your belief system has been created. I think this is known as these formative years are known as your thinking process is in theta. It's in a sort of hypnosis where you're believing everything that you're hearing. You're believing your environment. You're soaking your environment. This is what children do. When you're born till age 7, you soak up your environment, and because your mind is in this what it's called theta, where it's just soaking in. It's a type of hypnosis state, right? You tell a child, you're going to be great. This is why I believe Picasso and many other people are so damn great. I believe this. I truly believe this. When Picasso was a child, his mother used to tell him, in spite of what his father told him, his mother used to tell him, you are going to be great at anything you do. But she used to tell him all the time. It wasn't a thing that she told him once. And she in other words, she would dump positive affirmation into little Picasso. And she told little Picasso, if you go to the military, you will become a great famous general. If you become a priest, you will become the Pope. Just imagine what type of affirmations this is to a little child. And then he said, instead I became an artist and I became Picasso, right? He was saying the greatest there ever was. Just think about how most people would be like, oh, he was cocky. Yeah, sure, whatever. No, dude, he was full of positive affirmation. He was full of positive. He was full of positivity, of I can do this, I got this. Those of you who haven't read the story of Picasso, it's something worth reading. In spite of his machismo and the trends that were happening during his lifetime and how, he carried himself, in spite of that, move that aside, move the fluff aside, and see what type of character this guy was, man. This guy was full of positive affirmation. One of the things that I remember reading about this guy is that he entered every art contest with the idea that he was going to win every single one. Did he win every single one? Of course not. Of course he didn't. But just think about it. How many times we don't even enter something because we don't have time, because we can't afford it. Oh no, they're asking for $20 to enter that contest. Yeah, dude, but 100 people are going to see your artwork hanging somewhere. Enter it. You're paying $25 for 100 people to walk and ooh and ah the thing. Sometimes it's even more people. Sometimes it's 1,000 people online or more. So just think about it. This guy was full of positive affirmation. Some guy I was reading about, not recently, very, very controversial guy, very, a little loony, but but I like certain aspects of him, and this is that strength that he has, right? That strength, that old world type of person. I mean, because he is from that old world. His name is Dan Pena. The guy's the billionaire. He's some of his shit is very weird, very controversial guy, but he talks about this. He talks about how the children that you give positive affirmations to will grow up in a whole different state of mind than those who don't receive that. He says that his mother showered him with positive affirmations, and he believes that is the reason why he became super successful and wealthy. Even though he came from the barrio, he came from East LA. He's a Chicano. He's a Mexican American. He lives in some fucking big ass castle now in Scotland. And the guy talks about that. The guy talks about how his mother used to shower him since he was a little child with positive affirmations, telling him that he was going to be great, that he was going to be super successful. And what do you think this happens, man? This kid's soaking all of this in. So he might go through life and start finding himself and whatnot, but this record is already in him, that he's going to be great. This is so important. Now what happens if you didn't receive that? Don't feel bad. Because most parents don't do that to their children. Most parents are like, be a good person. You're going to be a great person. And this is why most people grow up and they're good people, right? They soak in the good vibes, even the chivalry from their parents, from their dad. They soak in some of the good stuff, They soak in good vibes. They're good people. They're respectful. Yeah, but we didn't soak in success and other things because it wasn't happening, right? It wasn't happening at home. There wasn't that for most of us. It wasn't happening at home. So we didn't soak that in. Or if it wasn't happening, the parents didn't think, well, if it's not happening for me, how can I ensure that it happens for him or her, right? So it wasn't happening. So don't feel bad if you didn't get that. Okay? Don't feel bad if you didn't get that. This is what I've learned. A scientist was talking about this in a show that I like to listen to. It's a podcast that I like to listen to, and this scientist was saying, look, the Jesuits knew this, right? The Catholic Jesuits knew this, and they said, look, show me a 7-year-old child, and I'll show you the man. It is already in their conditioning, right? They already been conditioned to think a certain way. And this is what most people don't know. Most people, or a lot of people have heard about this, but most people don't know this, that you can actually change this. You can actually flush that out. And it's sort of like a software and put in new information. Now, I know this is some woo stuff, and some people are like, oh my God, no. But just think about this. Our lives are very much just running. It's a running commentary. There's a bunch of shit that we've acquired throughout our lives, especially when we're children, because that's when we soak in, right? When we are hypnotized to believe the things that we believe now as adults. Like, oh, the economy's hard. How many times did you hear your dad say, or your mom, oh my God, no matter how much I work, I don't have enough money, or the economy's hard, or being an artist, that's very difficult. You shouldn't be an artist as a career, that nobody makes a living doing that. If you were 7 years old, if you were 5 years old, and you're listening to that, you actually believe it. You actually just soaked it in. You actually believe it now. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, it is in your data now. It is in your software. That thing is right there in your hard drive. Okay, it's a software that is in your hard drive already. And so then the scientist says, and I've heard about this from other people, but this specifically, the scientist says, hey, look, the way to flush this out is that when you go to sleep with the affirmations that you want to believe now. The things that you want to believe. I am a prolific artist. I am a wealthy artist. Being an artist, making a living as an artist comes easy to me, And on and on and on. People love my artwork. I get exhibits all the time. You know, I am happy. I am strong. I am enough. I am healthy. I am wealthy. And on and on and on. Start listening to that while you sleep. Why? Why do you want to start listening to that while you're asleep? Because you're in that phase. You're in that theta phase when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping, you're in other words, you're in a hypnosis state, just like a child state. And what you're doing is you're doing more than suggesting your subconscious. You're actually flushing out. You're actually flushing out. Where you're replacing a new belief system. You're replacing a new belief system. Don't believe me? Cool. You know? I mean, you do you, right? This is what I tell artists. You do you. I'm just sharing things that have been working for me in my life. Life itself is, I believe, it's already a difficult environment. You know, you have to do all of these things. You have to go to work. You have to stay positive, and you have to do more than what you think you're supposed to do in order to actually start gaining success at anything you do. You want to play ball? Cool. You're gonna have to practice 16 hours a day rather than 2 hours with your buddies on the weekends, right? If you really want to play ball professionally, you want to, you know, I don't know, lift weights and be a personal trainer or something like that. You don't only have to put in about 4 or 5 hours a day of personal training, eating the right stuff, doing the right things, you know, keeping a positive attitude, but you also have to work on the business end of it, which is at least another 16 hours, you know, at least another 12 hours to make it a 16, 18 hour day. So it's already more than what you think you're supposed to do. And so if this is already a difficult environment, have some positivity to go with it so that you can glide through it. Have some positivity to go through it. And also, I believe that most of us have been told no one too many times, especially when you were a child. You know, get down from there. Don't touch that. You're going to eat another cookie. You can't get more sugar. No. While the parents are trying to protect us, and many times they're trying to protect their own selves, right? They're trying to protect their sense of self or what other people think of them, society, and on and on. They're trying to protect their own ego. And this is not because they're bad or anything. This is just the way human beings, we function that way. We end up hindering the children, right? The children end up paying for it. And their parents did it, and their parents did it, and on and on and on till the beginning of time. So there is a way to fix this, guys. If you have little children, I would highly suggest you start just dropping positive affirmations onto these children. I wish I would have understood this more when my son was a little child. Unfortunately, I didn't. I understood some of it. I would say good stuff. I would say positive things, but not to the degree that I understand it now. Now, what I'm trying to do this now, I'm trying to correct this. Okay, so when we go to sleep, I put positive affirmations. I just put my phone. I put positive affirmations. I don't put it for 8 hours. Now, some people recommend that. I put it for an hour, right? For an hour. I put something for an hour, and that's how we fall asleep. And then, you know, I usually don't fall asleep. I turn it off, or I just set it up as I have a little recording device that just plays for an hour, and then that's it, right? But at this state of sleep, if you're listening, it's like an angel talking to you, man. If you're just listening to positive things over and over spoken to you, right? Spoken to you, it's like a guardian angel, you know? I mean, I know it's airy-fairy. I usually don't talk about this kind of stuff. I'm more towards the whole esoteric philosophy. It's not so airy-fairy. But I've taken workshops with some very kick-ass people, and I studied material from very, very kick-ass people. There's not a single one that doesn't say that they don't do something like this, a variation of this. There's not a single one that discredits positive affirmations, that discredits speaking to themselves in a positive way, not a single one that discredits not writing your goals down or the things that you want. Okay? Those of you who listen to people like Ty Lopez, I don't know, Frank Kern. Frank Kern does this, guys. For those of you who don't know. Like there's not a single one of them. If you study their material deep, if you actually go to their workshops or study their material deep, you understand that not a single one of them discredits this. They actually do. All of them do this. And there's a reason why, guys. Because it fucking works. That's why they all do it. If it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. These are people that don't like wasting their time. These are people that don't like wasting their energy. They're very focused, very highly focused individuals. And if they do this, and if it's good enough for someone like them, shit, man, it's good enough for me. And this is what I'm sharing with you guys. Go into it. Go into it. When you go to sleep, put some positive affirmations. When you wake up, have a little piece of paper. Write down, 2, 3, 5 things. Go beyond only what is gratitude. Because a lot of people are like, yeah, I keep a gratitude journal. That's great. But now go a little bit beyond that. Okay? Being grateful is fantastic, but it's not necessarily pushing you to the intention. Okay, it's not necessarily pushing you to the goal itself. It's saying I'm grateful for this, and therefore I can receive something else. But you're not actually verbalizing or stating what you want. You're only saying that you're grateful, so you'll get more of what you're grateful for. That's great, but you're not stating what you want. You're not stating a goal or an intention, right? An intent. You're not setting out an intention of something that you want. For example, you could be grateful for a cup of coffee in the morning. You're like, I'm grateful for this. It's great. Your body's like, oh man, awesome. Your whole cells, everything is like, awesome. My master says that he loves coffee. I'm going to make sure to put coffee in front of my master every single time, right? That's how gratitude works. I'm going to make sure that there's more situations where my master feels this type of gratitude like it feels with a coffee. That's great. But you have to take it just a little further and say, not just I am grateful. I mean, keep that by all means, of course. But I am also affluent. I am expansive. I receive opportunities every single day, thousands of opportunities for my career. I get invited to art shows every single day. I sell my artwork at high price points every single day. I make, X amount of income a year, a month, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever your mind can conceive. And why it's a worthy thing. Even if you don't reach it, it doesn't matter. If you don't reach it today or in a year or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a worthy goal. If it's a worthy goal, hey, it's worth stating it. Sally says, I'm going to try your suggestion of listening as I go to sleep. How can it not work? Got to go on. Thanks for your thoughts. Thank you, Sally. So I'll leave you guys with that this morning. Stay positive and affirm what you want, guys. The mind is a very, very interesting thing. Whatever you tell it, it starts going towards that. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. It's a very interesting thing. Very powerful thing. So, take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.